And then my book actually speaks about the year after I've already been rejected from what I call the inner circle afterwards. And I ended up, there's this gangster that took an interest in me, and a year later, that became an extremely violent, vicious relationship. I'm 10, he's 20, and a year later he rescued me. And I had a near-death experience, so you could say that I didn't survive. I had an extremely big near-death experience. I wasn't supposed to survive, but I had to come back, and it was a very beautiful experience. Also, my book is called Quest for Love. I was in these pedophilic relationships and everything, looking for love in the midst of hell. But what happened in that near-death experience was, I was always, spirit was often present with me, and there were, like when I talk about these things, yes, I was tortured for days, and this is true. So when you look at that from the outside, it is just gruesome and there's nothing else there. But spiritually, I felt often that there was help. Sometimes no, sometimes yes, but there was help. There was support. There was sometimes there was an insight that would come. Often I felt this benign presence. And when I had the near-death experience, it was a very glorious experience. And I felt finally this incredible love.
Do you believe in God?
Of course. I mean, that's everything. There is nothing with that.
Who's God to you? Are you a Christian?
It's not a
Are you a how would you define that? My teacher who showed up in the near-death experience was Paramahansa Yogananda. Now, Paramahansa Yogananda started a autobiography of a yogi. Yeah. If you want to show, there you go. That orange book. There you go. That's Paramahansa Yogananda. So Paramahansa Yogananda wrote, one of the gurus of the path is Christ. And so it is not separate from Christianity. The teachings are the original Christianity combined with the original yoga, which has nothing to do with the physical yoga, but the meditation. So you have, the prayer, which is like speaking to God, and then the meditation, which I could call listening to God. And there's these specific meditation techniques that bring your energy back into your spine and brain, that are meant to help you what happened, in the near-death experience is you transcend the physical, you leave the body, but because you are not the body, you are consciousness, pure consciousness. And then in that experience, I experienced the expansion of the heart, where I just felt that divine love. Mm.
And then had these insights also then to help me know what to strive for when I was healing. And that is to go back, to return to the love of Christ. And that is why my message has so much to do with ending the division between people, between us, not judging other people, respecting everybody, getting along, but to look, because I feel that this division is created from this network.
You
very
think the
specifically,
network should be held accountable?
Of course, and the people in it, and that the division is caused from that place of these people that want to maintain the control, specifically so that we won't look at them and that we won't look at this.
Do you think they still exist?
What has happened to make it stop existing? Nothing.
Right. What do you think you can do to help it? Because
what am I
you're
doing?
Somebody talking about it. Is that kind of how you process that?
Everything I do is to help it. I heal. I work with other people that have been through it. So the fact that I have had my 30 plus years of healing behind me, I can really
when someone has been through something like that, it is very common that you cannot believe it. So when someone who's been through it and has been through the healing, who knows exactly what it is and can bring context to what is coming up, because it makes no sense, these things, when they come up, that is what I do. And I write, and I think of myself as a writer. So I try to reach people. It is not about the sensation. It is not about the names. Of course, yes, they have to be held accountable eventually, all of them, absolutely. I do trust in spiritual justice, though, not necessarily justice on earth. Most of these people died in their bed. They were never held accountable in life. But to me, my role is speaking up. The revelation of this truth, which is a dark truth that I think we should know about. And the second part of my mission, I think, has to do with the healing. I developed a psychological healing modality, and it's for everyone. It is to look at power dynamics in the way that we all, project power. Like if I look up to you, then I'm going to come from a place of below. And that projection, it is used as an entry into our own unresolved stuff. Like if I put you up, then you are an authority figure to me. And that means that I'm coming from a child place and I'm putting you in the position of a parent. And beneath that upward projection, putting someone on a pedestal, is fear. And so we go in that way to look at healing, or whatever it is, unmet emotional needs, or and vice versa. When we look down on someone, when we judge someone, to first look at ourselves, like, what is this in me? Why do I need to feel powerful in that moment? Why do I need to think less of that person? So it's not judging in terms of just saying what it is. Like, I don't mean, a pedophile is a pedophile. That's not what I mean, judging, that there's judgment there. That is just what it is discriminating or discerning. But I'm talking about an emotional charge, which is exactly what I feel the network is using to create that division, to keep judging each other and to keep thinking that it's other people like us.
To me, I understand that, but I tweeted something out earlier today because of what happened with Laken Riley. And we were watching a video of Laken Riley's family. And I don't know if you're following the story of Laken Riley.
No.
Young, beautiful of a human being, beautiful spirit, is going for a run at night while a Venezuelan gangster is looking for her. And she comes, not looking for her, just looking for a girl. And she sees her running, he sees her running, and he catches her wanting to rape her. And he starts hitting her with a rock over the head. And she's recording this while she's calling a cop. She's trying to escape. And her family, her stepfather, read a letter she wrote to her future husband, which is the most incredible story when you read this. It's tough to watch it without getting emotional.
I'm getting emotional
and
now.
For me, when I hear stories like this, we're going through this right now in America. You're in New York, so New York's a mess right now. I tweeted this 2 hours before you and I went live. I said, is this too extreme of an idea? Any illegal immigrant who commits a crime in America should face 5 times the punishment of someone who is here legally, especially a U.S. citizen, and an automatic death penalty if found guilty of rape, murder, or, drug, child trafficking. I have zero tolerance for this when it comes down to somebody taking advantage of a kid or any of it.
Aren't we're both immigrants, though, right?
Well,
you
yeah,
immigrated
for sure.
from Iran, and I from Belgium.
I know. Yeah.
So we're both immigrants. So of course,
sure.
the immigrant story is always, most immigrants don't want to come here, or if they do, I love the United States. I have had opportunities here that I studied here that I would have never been able to do that in Europe. So I love America. I love the spirit of America. I think that this is the place where things can change, and this can change here. On the other hand, we have to be always so mindful. I would be, there's always 2 sides to the same story, because what on the liberal side is being co-opted is the empathy, is the willingness to be open-minded
towards others. I feel that this is being co-opted, just as the toughness on the right, is also being co-opted. I know on the right, I've heard a lot of people being, the save the children, save the children. A lot of feeling and a lot of sympathy for the children. But I, as an adult, don't experience necessarily that same empathy, you see. I'm the grown-up child from that experience. And
I think you do. And the reason why
not always.
Well, I don't. I think, and the reason why I say that, is there's a reason why you have tens of millions of views online, because people empathize with you. And your book has got 223 reviews, 5-star. Why is it 5-star? Because there's a community that, not necessarily understands the pain. Most people haven't gone through this, but sympathizes with somebody like you. Seen an innocent child. When I look at your book, I see your face. I see my daughter. I got an 8-year-old girl and a 3-year-old girl. I'm not okay with that. There's a part of me that is naturally, my entire life, I've been very protective since we lived in Germany for 2 years and my mother and my sister were there. I was a 10, 11, 12-year-old. I was ready to do anything if somebody did anything to my mom and my sister when my parents went through a divorce. I understand that.
Was your family connected to the Shah in
No,
Iran?
not
That's
at all.
not why you left?
No, we were, not my mother's side, but I'm supportive of what the Shah was doing. I think when the regime fell, Iran's been a shit show since 1979. Iran was a beautiful place prior to that. Right now, it's not the people, what the politicians and some of the other people in clergy did, messed up that place.
You're going to think I'm crazy when I tell you this, but the last 13 and a half years, I've been working on my first fiction book to write, ever. Fiction book to write. And while I finished this book, a year ago, I got the strangest phone call about one of the characters in the book where the guy wanted to meet with me and he read the book. And afterwards is like, wait a minute, am I the villain in the book? This is a story about a character named Asher, who is half Armenian, half Assyrian, whose father was involved in the Iranian Revolution, linked to Savak, working with the Shah, that they escape and he gets recruited to a secret society. When you go to the secret society, it's been around for a couple thousand years. They've developed some of the craziest leaders of all time. And they test you. There's unique tests that they have at this society where they test to see your emotional mental toughness. One of the tests that they have is very rigorous. It's purely mental. Of course, there's a physical one, but one is mental and emotional. If you're Armenian, if you're Syrian, if you're Persian, this is a book you're going to be reading and saying, holy moly, this is the kind of stuff you talk about in here? Yes. If you're somebody that's fascinated by history, this is a book for you. Characters. There's a technology that this society, secret society, builds where you go into a vault. I won't spoil it for you. When you go down, they have a technology where you get to sit down and watch and have a 3-4 hour conversation with Tupac. You can set up a debate between Karl Marx and Ayn Rand. Karl Marx is in the book, who wrote Communist Manifesto. Ayn Rand, who wrote Atlas Shrugged, is in the book. Marilyn Monroe explains the concept of seduction and sex in the book. When you read the book, it's about development of the next leaders in the world and how they do it and how they've been doing it for many years. And it's also about how to prevent the end of civilization and how this organization goes about doing it. So, I've never written a parenting book before, but if I ever wrote a parenting book, this is the closest thing to it because it's all mindset, a lot of crazy stories. Again, 13 and a half years. Trust me, I told myself I will not publish this book until I sell my insurance company and I'm fully disconnected from it, where it's no longer my responsibility 100%. When you read this, if you're a creative person, if you like fiction books, if you enjoyed Atlas Shrugged, or if you enjoy Divergent, if you like books like that, I think you're going to enjoy reading this book. It's the creative side. Business books is very easy. Here's how you do it. Here's how this how it works. This is very creative. If you haven't placed the order yet, now you can order it on Simon & Schuster, Amazon. I'm going to put the link up below somewhere here, maybe even in my profile. Go order the book and read it. I've never written a book where I can't wait to read your reviews to see what you think about this book. So I'm going on this wild journey and we have some plans with this book here. If you support the things that I work on, I would appreciate you going and reading the book, order the book on Amazon, and then post a review. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.